Reality check inside America's Next Top Model recap, episode 2, part 3, and as someone who is very familiar with dental issues, ouch.
Nice, you got a nice little gap right there between your teeth, don't you?
Thank you. Even though I said thank you, I'm like, I think she bad-mouthing me. As far as my gap, she can hang down with her. The gap is staying, sucker. The gap, the infamous gap. Lord Jesus.
Last I left you, the things are getting wilder and wilder. They're doing photo shoots where people are getting hurt. If the girls are sick, they don't feel like they can say anything. Like Carrie D and her cycle when she got hypothermia from a pool they were shooting in, or she almost did. Why was the pool that cold? But let's not forget, so that we have that overtone, whose fault that was.
There's a time in the world where there was a show Fear Factor and Survivor and all of these things of like pushing the limits and all of that. And so we kept pushing and we kept creating more and more and more. You guys were demanding it. The viewers wanted more and more and more.
Show of hands, I do not remember requesting photo shoots where models got like covered in silly string, or they got knocked off of runways by pendulums, or pretended to be unhoused people while also simultaneously taking advantage of unhoused people. So I don't remember that, and I think that's been one of the biggest problems people have had with Tyra in this documentary. There was like zero accountability.
After the challenge, they put us in a group and they said that we were going to the dentist, but that Joni and I were going first.
The dentist is going to do something about that snaggletooth and or that gap too, and perfect your smile.
I was like, whoa, this is actually happening. Happy, right? Your tears of joy.
That's so cool. I never poured anything like that.
This is when the makeovers take a ridiculous toll, because here's the thing is if you wanted some dental work done, which Joni did, Danny did not, then you're gonna go. But here's the kicker, they wouldn't let her call anyone, they didn't let her talk to an attorney, and they had her sign a waiver right there, which indicates that they knew that this was gonna be cosmetic dentistry, not actually fixing anything. Joni still has problems with her teeth to this day, improper bite, a ton of stuff, because what they did was pull a few teeth out and put some veneers on, and there you go. But she needed more than that, and you can't just start yanking things out of people's face. Joni's one thing, she's down to do it, but she is not doing it with informed consent or anything like that. She doesn't really, and these doctors, like, what were you thinking, bro? What were you thinking? How could you do that to somebody? That's not cool. But then we get to Danny, and Danny likes the gap in her teeth, which there's gonna be some insult to injury to that one in just a minute, but she likes her teeth. She doesn't want to close the gap. However, she's told point blank, you are going home if you don't do what we're telling you to with your teeth. Your teeth, these are your bones in your head.
So if I decide to keep you, are you gonna get your gap closed? And then that's when I was like, so what you're saying to me is, if I don't get my gap closed, you're gonna send me home.
Get them teeth done?
All the way, completely.
I think all the way. Congratulations. You're still in the running towards becoming America's Next Top Model.
Oh my God, the Swan called, remember that one? Oh my God. And they said they wanted their storyline back. I get dyeing some hair, maybe bleaching some eyebrows, doing a beard weave. Comparatively, I'll allow it, but what? But chiseling away on someone's face bones, that is such a huge thing. Not to mention, there is a major insult to injury, and that's what I'm gonna show you right now, because just 4 short seasons later.
And the irony is that a few seasons later,
We love your teeth.
Tyra's like, we're gonna widen that gap.
We'd love to exaggerate that and take you a little bit more to Lauren Hutton.
Make it as big as you want it.
And then we get another, Tyra said she apologized, hindsight is 2020. Blah, 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 blah. She just went too far. She treated these girls like Barbie dolls, and they were human beings, whilst also complaining that she got treated that way and wanted to change it, but just did the exact same thing.
I've actually apologized for the issue with Danny and what happened. That was between a rock and a hard place for me, because there were agents that would tell me she will not work with those teeth. It's just not going to happen. That's what they told me. And again, I could have just been quiet and let them handle it. But that's hindsight is 2020 for all of us. It just so happens that a lot of the things that are 2020 for me happened in front of the world.
I can say I'm pretty perceptive, and I honest to God did not realize how much she talked to everyone in such a patronizing way, even back in the day. And it seems like people who do that to make themselves sound really genuine, they'll talk slow and blah, blah, blah. But it just comes off as someone trying to talk you off a cliff when you're not actually standing on one. And it's frustrating. But my favorite response in the entire show was what Danny said back to this, because I couldn't agree more.
Bull fucking shit. Me getting my gap closed is not opening any doors for me. You knew what you were doing for the show. You were making good for TV at my expense.
That brings us to what has become one of my favorite trends probably ever on TikTok. The judges would take life experiences, horrifying, impactful life experiences, and turn them into photo shoots like they had, smokers and all of this stuff. But they would take your personal trauma and make it into a photo shoot.
When I was a kid, my mom was shot and she was paralyzed from the waist down. When I was 6 years old, my mom was shot by this guy. He was jealous that she was getting married and she was actually trying to help him get off of drugs, and he ended up shooting her. That's why mom is paralyzed. They knew about it from the application process, but they still chose to have me do this particular photo shoot that involved gun violence.
Nigel, when asked if this felt wrong and they shouldn't have done that because they did it on purpose, they did this multiple times over the years, which is why it's become a trend on TikTok. He said it didn't feel wrong at the time. And Ken Mock said, honestly, looking back, that was a mistake. What about this?
While they are essentially in blackface and brownface,
I didn't think it was controversial. I was in my own little bubble, in my own little head. If this was my way of showing the world that brown and black is beautiful.
Sister, you look like a black girl, girl. You like my husband.
feeling it. I loved it.
But then we put it out there and the world was like, are you crazy? Have you lost your mind?
We all know I'm not a scientist or a Keebler elf, but if I was a scientist, I'd be a sociologist, and that made my head pop. I can promise you we've known that was a problem for a very long time, not to mention you got the backlash. It's not a 2020 lens. You got backlash in the time, found out it was a problem, and then did it again 9 seasons later. We love it. I'll see you at the last part for this episode, and I hope you're having a good day.